Welcome to the 2020 NPC Motherlode competitor meeting. You guys did it. You're nearly there, and you were tougher than a global pandemic, riots, and even murder hornets. Now, many of you have been prepping since January, and there was no way I was going to let you down. I wanted to get you on stage as soon as possible. Canceling wasn't an option, and I didn't want to push it into the fall. Making this event happen was probably 10 times harder than any event we've ever put on. My team and I have been working basically for free, but we saw your commitment and there was no way we were going to let you down. In fact, I'm still working to create more flexibility in this event, and I've been actually in touch with 4 senators just today trying to expand the capacity. But being back in the game early, means that we're up against some very stringent regulations. We'd hope things would be looser by now, but unfortunately they're not. We're looking at a 50-person capacity in our entire building, so this is going to take us some juggling, which I'm going to explain later. Also, just today, the Nevada governor announced that masks are going to be required by everyone. So everything's going to be different than we're used to. And we ask that you be flexible and understanding. While we've worked for many weeks to make this event flow as smoothly as possible, there are some unbendable rules set by the state that we just cannot compromise. These are going to create some challenges, these are going to create some hiccups, and we just ask that you help go with the flow. But we've created a new template for running bodybuilding shows. Now, this is a template that can ensure that shows with strict regulations can persist into the future. So even with the compromises, we still have some great perks. We're providing a very upgraded HD live stream. It's going to have multiple camera angles and a whole new level of production. J.M. Mannion is going to be there. He's going to be doing live interviews with you guys. There's going to be tons of content in addition to the live stream itself. So please help us get this out there. Share it. Put it all over your social media. Let your friends know. Let your family know. Because if this is successful, that means we can continue to do shows without an audience in the future. Now, as I mentioned, J.M. Mannion will be on site. He's going to be there doing the behind-the-scenes photos and, of course, these interviews with the overall champions. Now, all overall winners will receive a free hotel and free registration at our IFBB Pro qualifier in Russia. And 2 of the overall winners will be chosen to also receive free flights to Russia. We're going to have a whole bunch of fresh new Motherlode apparel that we just brought out. And of course, we have huge competitor gift bags stuffed with all the goodies from our sponsors. Now, one thing that we've added is we have an outdoor reception area. It's going to offer food, drinks. We're going to have a video wall, the live stream of the entire event, the step and repeat as always, and we're even going to have a few vendors out there. Now, of course, as always, we have the best photographers in the business, tanners, and makeup artists. So while it won't be business as usual, it's still going to be the quality that you expect from Center Podium. So, some things to go over that are going to be different than you're used to. I'm going to get into the weeds here and go through every single detail so you have the information. Starting with check-ins. Check-ins take place at the Reno Sparks Convention Center in the ballroom. Now, we are limited to 50 people, so it's going to be set up into multiple groups. At 5 o'clock p.m. sharp, we're going to open with a brief meeting, and then we're going to have only men's bodybuilding, classic physique, women's physique, and fitness. So again, that's 5 o'clock, bodybuilding, classic physique, women's physique, and fitness. At 5:30, we're going to have all the bikini competitors. At 6 o'clock, we do figure and wellness. And at 6:30, we're going to check in men's physique. Now, due to limited capacity, we cannot allow coaches or companions at check-ins like we usually do. As all of you are pre-registered, you're going to stay seated and we're going to call you up by name. Then we'll measure your height or weight, provide your buttons, give you your passes, coordinate your photos, music, and of course, pick up Motherlode apparel and your free competitor bag. You can add crossovers and photos at this time. After that, you're done. However, we won't be selling backstage passes. We ask that you please purchase your NPC card online at npcnewsonline.com. That's going to save you some time and energy at the event. You can also upload your music to the NPC Motherlode page on centerpodium.com. Okay, so show day. This is going to work much differently than you're used to. The way the competition will work is we're going to have 13 separate events. Each event is a group of classes. You will compete, you'll be judged, and you'll receive awards all in one session. And most of you will be in and out in 45 minutes unless you've done multiple classes. Now, after each event's awards, we will clear the building of all the competitors. We're going to disinfect, and this all needs to be done before the next group can come in. So what this means is that as soon as you get off stage, you need to move quickly to our outdoor reception area so that we can continue with the show and bring the next people in. There will be a count at the exit and entrance of each door. Now, as I mentioned, the outdoor reception area includes a video wall of the live stream, photo step and repeat, food, and drinks. Now, we created this area specifically as a place for your close families and friends to wait. Now, this section does also have a strict limit of 50 people. So please keep that in mind that we can't bring hundreds and hundreds of people there. And if hundreds and hundreds do show up, they're unfortunately not going to be able to get in. So unless you're with a competitor, we do recommend you that viewers watch the event on the live stream. Now, the flow. Each group will be given a start time. This is a start time that you will be on stage. So you should arrive at the venue exactly 15 minutes before your start time. You'll want to park at the north entrance of the Reno Sparks Convention Center. This is the Atlantis Casino side. Now, if you're staying at the Atlantis Casino, you can come in using the Atlantis Skybridge. Now, you'll reach a checkpoint. This is where you're going to have a bag and temperature check. The bag check will be for weapons, drugs, and non-prep food. Like I said, you're also going to get your temperature check. Anything over 100.4, you won't be admitted. Now, from here, you'll be guided to a staging room. This room is adjacent to the tanning rooms. And when it's time for your group to get on stage, an expediter will come and they will retrieve you. Then they'll walk you down the hall towards the stage. We'll have one person to fetch you, so be present, be on point. We have to be on a skeleton crew as well, so there will be no ability for us to wait or to search for people who may have gone missing. From this point, you'll be brought to a pump-up room where we're going to have some weights and bands. If you are first in the lineup, you'll be going on stage immediately, so you may want to bring some bands of your own just to make sure that you're properly pumped up. After you've been judged, stay in the pump-up room. Scores will be tallied and awards will be given right away. If you won first place, you'll stay for the overall. If you did not get first place, head right out to the outdoor reception area. Now, first place athletes in classes with an overall will stay for the overall. Now, if you win an overall, come back at the end of the show. At this time, we'll be choosing who will receive the flight, hotel, and registration for our IFBB Pro Qualifier in Moscow. Okay, some details on the competitor services, the products that you may have purchased, starting with makeup. If you purchase makeup, you should have already received an email from our makeup manager. If not, double check your junk mail. The email will come from fufumakeup@gmail.com. If you haven't received it, you can shoot her an email. Again, that's fufumakeup@gmail.com. Studio shoots already sold out, but you can still get those high-res photo packages online or at Checkins. Now, we really recommend doing this because it'll help you get feedback from the judges. It's a reference for future shows, and it can even help with sponsorship, portfolio developments, and of course, Instagram. We do post 2 or 3 low-res photos online, but this is going to get you actually dozens of photos. Tanning, there's some basic tips. You're going to want a loofah every day. Don't wear perfume. Don't use oils. Don't use lotions. And I don't recommend doing the tanning bed or anything like that at this point in case you burn. And always, no outside tanners or spray equipment are allowed in the venue. Our coaches' pass holders will have full access to the backstage and seating in front of the stage. Coaches should only be in the building while their athletes are in the building. If you stay outside that time, it will reduce our capacity and we may not be able to continue with the show. So you need to leave as soon as your athlete is done. If the venue is at capacity, you may have to wait before you're allowed admission to the building. So please be flexible with those coaches' passes. Conduct, of course, please protect the venue. This is a great venue. We want to be invited back in the future, so we need all of you to work together to protect it. If you didn't know, this is also where the Legion Sports Fest is going to take place, so we want to have a nice long relationship with the Reno Sparks Convention Center. So what we ask is that you do some basic things, always wear long pants, long sleeves if you're going to go basically outside of the backstage area. Never walk around uncovered. You make sure you're not sitting on any furniture or leaning against walls, especially if you're not covered. So that's what happens a lot. People get tired, they lean against a wall, we see a print of them left behind. So please be cautious of that, and keep an eye on your friends too to make sure that they're not leaving stains everywhere. Take out what you take in, so any trash, any weird stuff, take it in, take it out. Be careful with food. While they do make an exception for us to bring your prep food in, they normally have a no food rule, so be neat with your food and don't take advantage of that policy. You'll have your buttons. That gives you access, so keep them safe, keep them close, and button numbers may be cross-checked at the entrance to make sure that it's actually you. Now, don't miss your class. Follow the schedule closely. There will be no do-overs, no rejudging, no refunds if you miss a class. I say it every time. 2 of you are going to miss that class. Please don't be those 2. Okay, posing. Get into the weeds again here. Everyone will pose. Presentations and posing will only happen once. So if you've crossed over, you're not going to do the exact same routine a second, third, or fourth time. At that point, you're just going to be judged for each of those classes, but no need to do a presentation as the judges have already seen you present. Now, again, talking about posing, I want to remind you, if you're a bodybuilder, women's physique, classic physique, or fitness, you can upload your music on the Motherlode page at centerpodium.com. Okay, now this is the flow for bikini, figure, wellness, and men's physique. So one thing to remember is the more time you spend on your walk, the more time the judges have to find your flaws. So you want to get out there fast, and hit your best shots. That's what you want them to see. That's what you want them to remember. You have about 15 seconds out there. If you drag it out, you're gonna create a traffic jam on stage. We are on a very strict schedule, so please just hit your 2 or 3 best poses and then move off to the diagonal. So you enter from stage right. That is the competitor's right. So when you're looking at the audience, that's going to be your right. As a reminder, remember you're always being judged. So while you're walking, you're being judged. While you're standing on the diagonal, you're being judged, as well as when you're on the center X. And as a reminder, smile, smile, smile. It'll be if your stage presence is awesome, it can make a huge difference in your presentation. Also helps you get on the posters for next year. So once you're on stage, you'll be lined up on the diagonal, and the judge will call your number. You're going to walk to the center X, and you're going to hit 2 poses, just as I mentioned earlier. Once you've hit those 2 poses, you'll return back to the diagonal. Again, you'll have about 15 seconds to do this whole thing. Now, once at the diagonal, pay close attention and listen for your number. This is now when the judges do first call out. So it's important that you listen for that number. They're going to call out those numbers, and then you're going to be doing the comparisons. Now, the way this flow actually happens will vary a little bit by the size of the class. So again, pay very close attention for that number and the instructions from the head judge. And when you get into bodybuilding, classic physique, fitness, and women's physique, again, you're going to enter from stage right. And remember, you're being judged for every minute that you're on stage. And smile, smile, smile. Again, it helps you get on the posters. So you're going to be guided to the judging line, and you're going to run through your poses and your call-outs. After the call-outs and comparisons, you're going to be leaving the stage. At that point, you'll go on one at a time to perform your routine. Now, routines are limited to 45 seconds. If they're not cut at 45 seconds, we can occasionally allow them to run, but we will shut them off at exactly 60 seconds. So you can see more detail on all this if you go to centerpodium.com/showtime as part of our competitor guide. And this specific part in the membership site is offered for free. But there isn't a complete Center Podium contest prep guide that you can access when you join. Now, tickets. As you probably heard by now, there are no tickets for this show, unfortunately. Only people who will have access is people who have VIP credentials or coaches passes, and these are no longer for sale. The event will be a total of about 11 hours long, and we ask that VIP credential holders go to the outdoor reception area once their athlete has competed. This will allow more people to come into the building. Now, the outdoor reception area has a very strict limit of 50, as I mentioned earlier. So in this 50 includes staff, athletes, coaches, and ticket holders. Now, if there's any remaining capacity, we'll admit some friends and family, but we certainly don't have the capacity for hundreds and hundreds of people. So we do recommend that you check out our live stream, which is going to look really, really good. We also have a few vendors out there. We're going to have, I think, 5 or 6 vendors out there. So please visit them. It's awesome that they've stuck with us and been here to support you guys. That makes a big difference. And really, especially with no audience, makes it possible for us to put on a show at all. You can learn more about our vendors if you go to centerpodium.com/bodybuilding-promo-codes. You can find it on our website. Now, the live stream, once again, as I mentioned, there is no live audience. So we have an awesome upgraded HD system that you can watch from the safety of your homes, the safety of your phones, your computer, anywhere there is a good internet connection. Now, the success of this live stream will help determine if we can continue to provide bodybuilding shows even with these strict regulations. So this is a giant experiment. And if you guys can help make this work, we can continue to have you guys on stage. So please promote the heck out of this to your friends and family. Now, we have some other shows coming up. The next is the Dexter Jackson Classic on July 25th. Then we have the Tahoe Show on August 8th and 9th. The New Mexico State Open on September 26th. And the NPC West Coast Classic on October 11th. We have our massive Legion Sports Festival that's going to take place on October 23rd and 25th. And that now includes NPC, and that's going to happen right here in Reno, Nevada. And we end out the year in Moscow on December 12th, where we give out 9 pro cards. So you guys, I can't thank you enough for staying strong, staying focused. You are truly our inspiration, and we appreciate your understanding of all the things we cannot control and your flexibility as we adapt to this current reality. Things continue to change by the minute, and we'll continue to do our best to keep you apprised as we confirm these changes. But we look forward to seeing you and beginning what we hope is a step to returning back to normal for bodybuilding shows. So be well, and we'll see you this Friday.